taxes in Alabama football. Throughout the season, that seems to just be the way it goes. And as number 16 Mississippi State traveled to Tuscaloosa today, it looked to be no different. It looked to be an interesting matchup at Bryant-Denny Stadium, the number 1 Crimson Tide up against the top 10 defense with the number 16 Bulldogs. But would MSU's offense be able to match it? Seems questionable from the beginning. Tua Tagovailoa to Irv Smith to start things off. The Crimson Tide in the red zone, and Damian Harris here punches it in and make it 7-zip for Alabama. The first quarter still, all it took for Alabama was 2 possessions for 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs with the TD. Bama goes up 14-0, and not a good way for MSU to start things off earlier today. Tua back at it again, but this time fumbles the ball on the handoff exchange, and Braxton Hoyt with the recovery there. Mississippi State's turn now. Nick Fitzgerald here with the flea flicker, but the Tide just too quick, too fast, and too furious. Sacks Fitzgerald, and MSU still scoreless on the board. Bama now after a muffed State punt. Tua sends it over to Josh Jacobs, and he just takes care of business from there. To the end zone he goes, and Alabama makes it 21 skunk before the half is even over. MSU trying to spark some life before the half. Fitzgerald sends it to Eris Williams. Williams getting those gains like he had protein this morning. And Fitz will be back at it again, this time connecting with Kylan Hill. And this man's just moving, soaring and flying for a Mississippi State touchdown. Unfortunately, there'd be a flag on the play. The TD would get called back, wouldn't be good. And State just can't catch a break right now. Another TD gets called back from penalty, and a missed field goal from Jace Christman here. Bama keeps State scoreless going into the half, and they keep them scoreless for the remainder of the game. The Crimson Tide stay on top today with a final score of 24-0 over Mississippi State.
Had some opportunities throughout the game, but too many miscues. I mean, guys open, balls being snapped early, but when you're not running it well and you're not moving it in the air and not creating explosive plays against a defense like this, it's going to be give yourself a hard time to win. And then special teams weren't very special.
When you do your job, it's not hard, and each team, any team, when you do your job, they just all the same. So you do your job, you can execute, you can make plays, and hold teams however many points you want to.
And they have a great offense, especially with Tua, he's good at what he do. He got 3 good running backs, especially Jake, Jacob, he had a lot of cutbacks, and like I said, of what they do good and how many yards we allowed them, I think we played pretty solid.
It's a tough situation, but, good teams are going to bounce back from it. Obviously, I think we're a good team, but we just didn't, we didn't bounce back from it. But I don't think that really, affected anything second half wise. We went against the number 1 team in the country, extremely good defense. All props to them for doing what they did tonight.
We got pressure when we weren't pressuring. All right, so we were rushing with 4 guys, and we could sit back and play, coverage, which has been a real key for us. And it was the same story last week. And when we did pressure, I thought we did a good job of that. So it was huge right before the half to, get a sack. And then they missed a field goal. I think that was a big momentum swing, in the game in terms of the outcome of the game, that they didn't score there.